Spring has sprung and folks are excited about firing up their grills, and some are ready to purchase their very first Big Green Egg or other ceramic grills. And the question they're asking themselves is, what size of grill should I get? That's what we're going to be answering on Blind Grilling Experience today. Let's roll the intro. This is the Blind Grilling Experience, and I am the most interesting griller in the world. Welcome back to another episode of the Blind Grilling Experience as we begin a new season of the podcast and creation of videos on our YouTube and Facebook channels. So be sure and subscribe and like and share. We do appreciate all of that, of course. And today we're going to be answering the question about what size grill someone should purchase. I know right now everyone is excited to go and get a new Big Green Egg or maybe another ceramic grill such as KJ or something, and they're asking the question, what size should I be looking at? Should I be getting? And anytime you post to the groups and social forums, pretty much the same answer that you're going to be getting is go with the extra large. And what we're going to talk about today is that isn't really always the best advice, and we're going to explain why that is. But first of all, let's understand this. There are just a few sizes that many people have narrowed down their search to, and we'll focus on the Big Green Egg, but for the most part, with KJ, you've got similar sizes like the Big Joe, which would be like the extra large egg, the Classic, which is like the large egg, and then the Joe Jr., which is like like a mini max in the Big Green Egg. And so while there are other sizes when it comes to Big Green Egg, you've got the 2X, you've got a small, a medium, and a mini. The three main sizes is, going from smallest to biggest will be the mini max, the large, and the extra large. And almost always people are saying go with the extra large. Now, they will sometimes qualify it, and that is if you can afford it. If you can do it or save up just a little bit more money, go with the bigger grill. And I understand the reasoning, and we'll talk a little bit about that, but be very careful in just looking at the grill. Couple of questions that I think we need to answer in trying to figure out what size grill that we're going to be looking at is this. First of all, how many people are you cooking for? Not how often, but how many people are you going to be cooking for? Are you going to be doing a lot of food? Are you going to be doing a lot when it comes to, wanting to do multiple briskets or one brisket? Or maybe you don't even do a whole brisket. Maybe you just do a flat or a point or smaller cuts of meat, and so those are some things that you need to be considering as well. And what do you expect to be able to do with your grill when it comes to meats and sides and things of that nature? And so for the most part, large is probably one of the best selling of all the ceramic grills. And it pretty much does anything and everything that you would want or need for a regular family. It's always great to have a little bit extra space, a little bit extra room, but there's ways around that a large will do just fine. And the cost is right there where a lot of people are thinking, that they want to get at. That's the cost that they're looking at. And a large will do a whole packer brisket. Sometimes you may have to tuck the sides just a little bit, but if you're cooking for family, for a little bit of a group, maybe for a social gathering at your home, of a few folks, then a large is going to be great for that. It will do a whole packer brisket. It will do, a couple of pork butts, several whole chickens, a turkey for Thanksgiving and things like that. So a large is probably going to be one of the better options for most people. A lot of folks would say, well, go with the large, because if you do smaller, you do more smaller cooks, you won't waste as much charcoal. And that really isn't necessarily the case at all. Pretty much when you close these grills down, you're going to be conserving the charcoal that's left, regardless of the size that you get. So, so that really isn't, in my opinion, isn't so much of a factor in looking at these particular grills. The extra large certainly has a lot more cooking space. I mean, I can do easily, without adding another level or anything, 2 whole Packer briskets on an extra large grill. I can do a whole pan rather than just a half pan, such as on the large. I can do a whole pan on the extra large without any issues. And so there definitely is a lot more space, cooking space, that you can do more on when it comes to the extra large. But that's usually going to be for larger groups, larger crowds. If you're wanting to do meat and sides at the same time, there's going to be a little bit more versatility there when it comes to the extra large, but it comes at a premium cost. I mean, there's a pretty hefty price difference between the two. And if it was just the price difference between the large and the extra large, then maybe the extra large would in fact be worth it. Maybe it's true that, if you were just looking at the cost difference between the large egg and the extra large egg, and that was the only cost difference you had to consider, then, if you could just wait another month or two and save up just that little extra couple, $300-$400 and go with the extra large, that might be worth it. The problem is, when it comes to accessories, right, and we're focusing right now on large and extra large, the difference between the large and extra large accessories is almost double the price. And so once you start accessorizing, once you start purchasing things that are made to fit a large egg or made to fit the extra large egg, the cost difference is significant. We're talking about what would cost $60 for an accessory on the large egg is going to cost $120 for an accessory on the extra large egg. And some folks are willing to pay that. I certainly, have an extra large. I've had a large. I used a large for nearly 15 years before moving to an extra large. But I do a lot more large gatherings and even some catering. And so, I definitely, I think, could justify the extra space in that respect. But the large did great for my family, for, having, family gatherings, having company over, and doing some pretty large meals all together. The large really worked well. And I think, when it comes to cost, not just considering the egg, but considering the cost of accessories, that needs to be figured in as well. And that can really, be a huge addition when it comes to the cost of these grills. And these are investments. I mean, these things, lifetime warranties, these things are built to last. It will be the last grill you purchase, and treat it right, and they'll take care of you. I mean, these companies that make these ceramic grills back their products. That's one thing that we can say about them for sure. And so the probably the biggest consideration beyond the cost of the grill itself is the cost of the accessories. Because again, the large egg accessories are at one price range, but then when you go and you have an extra large and you go to accessorize the extra large for things that are specific to that size, the cost practically doubles. And so it can get pretty significant in that respect. And there are some ways, around that, of course, not just buying Big Green Egg branded things, but, looking to third-party accessories, Kick-Ash Basket, for example. But even at that, when you go from, what is made for the large to the extra large, again, a significant jump in price for those things as well. And so I think that's probably the biggest consideration that needs to be made. Now, if you're wondering, but I can do so much more on the extra large. That's true. You really could. But a lot of times people forget that there are so many workarounds. You say you want to cook multiple things on a large egg. You can get meat done well in advance and then put it in a pan, wrap it in a towel, and throw it in a cooler. Not with ice, but the cooler will work as a warming box, and it will keep things warm and, in fact, hot, and waiting for you to serve it once everything else has gotten done. So you get the meat done early, throw it in a cooler, wrap it up, and let it rest and set, and it'll stay warm, if not hot, until it's time to slice into it and ready to serve while you're cooking other things on your large grill. And the same is true with the extra large, because even folks that have extra large will sometimes think, man, I wish I had a bigger grill. I wish I had more room or another egg altogether. And the same workaround can be done by cooking meats early, throwing them in a cooler to work as a Cambro or warming box to keep it warm while you cook other things as well. Well, finally, there is that third option, and that is the Mini-Max. Usually folks that I talk to about the Mini-Max, they're looking at a Mini-Max as either a second grill or travel, and it really is perfect for that. Now, listen, they say it's portable, but it's still 90 pounds. I mean, you're still, it's a hefty little grill to haul around, but certainly can be done, and it's a great cooker. It really is. There's the way these things work are the same with the lower vent and the top vent, adjusting the temperature. On the Mini-Max, the smaller adjustments make a bigger difference. You can't cook nearly as much, but you can do a pulled pork, like a Boston butt. You can do a whole chicken. That pretty much maxes out the space. But nevertheless, it can be done on the Mini-Max. And again, there's some of those workarounds. Get the meat done early. But generally, people look at that for doing just small sides or small cooks. And it really is a great option. Or maybe if the price of a large is just a little bit too much right now and you want to get, into that ceramic grill because of how well they cook, the Mini-Max is a great option. Just know you are much more limited in the amount of space that you have, in the amount of things that you can cook, and even in the amount of accessories that are available to it. And there's really not that significant of a jump when it comes to the price of accessories from the Mini-Max to the large. That significant jump comes from the large to the extra large. And so that's another consideration to be made. But if you're traveling, you definitely don't want to haul around a large or extra large. You want to look at the Mini-Max if you want to take it with you to the lake. You want to take it with you in an RV, camping, and things like that. Those things work great for that particular purpose. But when it comes to the large and the extra large, for the most part, I think folks will be very happy with the large. They'll love the way it cooks. They'll love what they're able to do with it. And they'll be able to accomplish everything they want to accomplish with the large egg. Of course, you know how we are. Bigger is better, right? But that bigger grill comes with a bigger price tag. The accessories come with a bigger price tag as well. If you can swing it, more power to you. That extra large is an amazing grill, but so is the large. You can't go wrong either way. Folks, thanks for listening to the Blind Grilling Experience. I really do appreciate it. Glad to be back and providing content for everyone. You got questions? Leave them in the comments. Let me know what size you would love to have, what size you have, how long you've been cooking on your egg or your KJ or whatever ceramic grill you've got. You got questions about other grills. We'll be happy to talk about that as well. Until next time, remember, if you're looking, you ain't cooking.